My goal has been to find ways to have positive impact on the world.
It looks like this will go down as one of the largest frauds in history.
I mean, I'm deeply sorry about what happened.
Sam has, in a very short period of time, gone from just being a person who believed in effective altruism to being perhaps the world's leading practitioner of earning money to give it away. Sam, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I had no idea what I did want to do with my life. Started getting into effective altruism and thinking about how I could have the largest possible positive impact on the world, which led me to thinking about how I could donate as much money as I could to effective charities. I had some friends who had worked on Wall Street and enjoyed it, and so decided to try that out.
Just a few months ago, FTX was one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, with a valuation of $32 billion in just 3 years since its founding.
You don't need a flamethrower to buy, sell, or trade Bitcoin and crypto safely. You just need FTX.
Today, FTX is bankrupt and possibly looted. FTX misused an approximately $10 billion in customer funds and owes creditors at least $3 billion. Today, as many as 1 million people, many of whom are here in the United States, are locked out of their FTX accounts.
A trade? Are you sure?
Not a trade. I'm trading crypto. FTX is the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto. It's the best way to get in the game.
Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX's owner, stole millions of dollars of customers' funds and used them to finance risky bets and to pay for luxury penthouses in the Bahamas.
Despite the fact that FTX told customers it would not trade customers' funds, we know now that FTX loaned out, I think, about $10 billion in customer assets for proprietary trading. Mr. Ray, do you know how it was possible for FTX to access clients' funds in violation of its own terms of service?
Well, as I indicated, I mean, there was no corporate controls, no corporate oversight, no independent board, and the owners of the business, the senior management, had virtual control of the accounts of each of the silos and could move money or assets, as they desired, undetected by customers. To the extent there were rules, and there were very few, obviously they were made to be broken.
I think we've already done, frankly, about 100 million this year so far of donations, and looking to do more over the rest of the year. So hopefully can get pretty big, hopefully can have a lot of positive impact.
Great. So as you know, there's a big EA community kind of across MIT, across Harvard. So I spoke to a few of those people and collected 2 questions for you from kind of the general EA community. The first one is, what are some of the things that the EA community should do differently?
I mean, I think they should be way more ambitious.
Big crypto companies are looking to make big profits, are desperate to reach as many Americans as they can, hence the $54 million in ads in the Super Bowl. They brought in celebrities and gimmicks to make crypto sound exciting and daring and profitable, immensely profitable. But these ads left a few things out. They didn't mention the fraud, they didn't mention the scams, they didn't mention the outright theft. The ads didn't point out that you can lose big in crypto's huge price swings. They didn't tell you about the high fees pocketed by the crypto companies. And they sure didn't explain that crypto markets lack basic investor protections and oversight.
I'm not an expert, and I don't need to be. With FTX, I have everything I need to buy, sell, and trade crypto safely.
Mr. Bankman-Fried, you are now recognized for 5 minutes to present your oral testimony.
Thank you, Chair Waters, Ranking Member McHenry, and all the members of the committee for having me here today to testify. It's an honor to be here. A little bit about my background first. I grew up in Stanford, California, went to MIT where I majored in physics, and spent 3.5 years as a quantitative trader after college. My goal has been to find ways to have positive impact on the world and to maximize that.
Hundreds of thousands, 400,000+ users on the platform that were affected by this, not the big investors. I'm talking about people that had their life savings of 50,000 K or less, or complete and utter enveloped into the platform, just destroyed, right? Lives completely destroyed. I mean, my situation is not perfect, but some people literally, they either retired or were planning to retire. Now they can't retire, and has messed up their life, has messed up their family's lives, has messed up their children's lives, like generational impact.
FTX is a global cryptocurrency exchange. We are the second or third largest exchange globally, depending on what metrics you use, processing about $15 billion per day of trading volume on the platform.
The collapse of FTX is shocking, but it's hard to say that it's surprising, right? I mean, it's hard not to conclude that this crypto exchange and its related firm, Alameda Research, completely failed to safeguard the money of the people they entrusted their money to there. And we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that millions of dollars disappeared overnight, and that this is money that belonged to people who couldn't afford to lose their money.
When you start out as like an intern and you do something and accidentally lose, maybe $1,000 for your desk, you're like, oh God, like everyone's going to hate me now. Like, this is terrible. And over time you have to sort of, get comfortable with larger and larger swings of money. I'm trying to think of a good example of a trade where I've lost a ton of money. Well, I don't know. I probably don't want to go into specifics too much with that.
We've also put a lot of work into the risk controls on our platform. This is true from the financial crime side, where we conduct sophisticated know your customer diligence on all of our users. In order to identify any illicit activity, we monitor via multiple solutions all blockchain transfers into and out of our exchange. It's true of our risk engine, which is a 24/7 risk engine.
There was unauthorized lending of customer assets to an affiliated entity, and there were apparently fraudulent promises to investors and customers about FTX's operations. These are outrageous and completely unacceptable. The SEC also believes that FTX committed fraud against equity investors.
So that's sort of like the backstory here, and it's sort of, in some sense, a boring technical backstory, which is just a lot less exciting than this sort of like, good versus evil narrative. But on the other hand, that doesn't mean that they're blameless here, right? Because like, if you're Robinhood, this wasn't like something that you never thought would happen. Like, that you're the most popular, most topical retail trading app in the country. That retail trading is getting incredibly popular. And, frankly, you should be expecting something like this. And if you can't handle that, it's going to be a really, really bad experience for your users. Like, they should have predicted this and they should have prepared. And rather than having to scramble at the last minute after this happened, try and find $2 billion, they should have had procedures in place beforehand to deal with this. And even when it did happen, I sort of think obviously I wasn't there, but like, I sort of think they probably weren't trying quite as hard as they should have been.
The FTX group's collapse appears to stem from absolute concentration of control in the hands of a small group of grossly inexperienced and unsophisticated individuals.
There's a lot of pieces to this, I think some of the story here is like, it's hard to build something complicated and good. That's not an easy task, It's not an easy problem. And lots of people have tried and failed, and some people have tried and failed less. And that's what you're aiming for.
Now, Sam Bankman-Fried, or should I say inmate 14372.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the 32-year-old FTX co-founder, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison for 7 counts of conspiracy and fraud charges. The charges come from the collapse of the crypto exchange, in which his customers lost an estimated $8 billion. The judge said the defense's claims that customers would be paid back was logically flawed and speculative. The judge went on to say Bankman-Fried tampered with witnesses and lied about when he found out about the missing $8 billion. Prosecutors requested a sentence of 40 to 50 years, but Bankman-Fried faced a maximum of 110 years in prison, while his defense asked for just 6.5 years. Bankman-Fried allegedly used customers' money to pay off loans, buy real estate, and cover losses at his hedge fund. In total, 200 people became victims to Bankman-Fried's alleged scheme. Prosecutors said initially investors trusted Bankman-Fried, but in the end, some lost everything. Bankman-Fried even assured investors their money was safe on social media. His fraud has been compared to that of Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. However, Bankman-Fried's attorney attempted to distance his client from what he referred to as that level of depravity.
Like I was saying, it's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff. Never.
The answer is, all of the good that I'm hoping to do for the world, and, if I could, but, at the end of the day, nothing. The sort of feeling of the world moving on without you.